Welcome to the Party Light Worldwide Center of Excellence in Batavia, Illinois. We are excited to share a behind-the-scenes look at this facility, which houses our fragrance development and candle production, our quality testing, and state-of-the-art distribution.
I've been in the candle industry now for 15 years, and I've seen a lot of facilities around the world, and there's none that I've ever seen that compares to this. Party Light strives to have the best quality in the industry.
We want to make sure the candle, the accessory, anything that's going to the customer is at the highest quality.
From the very beginning, we're developing our candles to make sure that they meet strict quality guidelines.
We make sure the burn is consistent flame height throughout the burn. We make sure we limit the amount of soot that is produced. We make sure we get a wax that consumes to the edge to make sure you get the perfect sensory experience each time you burn that candle.
We inspect each and every raw material with a myriad of tests, and if anything is found to be outside of our quality specs, we reject it. After we've used all those raw materials to make the final candle, on the back end, we're actually looking at it again using our sophisticated analysis to ensure that all of the components that we wanted in the candle are in fact in that candle.
It all starts with the fragrance.
Fragrance is really important to us here at Party Light and equally as important to our consumers. You know, the olfactive experience, it's a word that gets thrown out a lot, and really all it's saying is your sense of smell. Everyone smells things differently, and when we talk about did this meet our olfactive expectations means did we smell it? Did we enjoy it? Did we come away with a good feeling? Because your sense of smell is really directly linked to emotions.
There's something about that olfactory sense that is really driving that memory and bringing back that feeling to you every time.
And for us here at Party Light, we just want to give people that wonderful experience of fragrance in a candle, and we take it very seriously.
We develop our fragrance to be the best in the industry.
The worldwide marketing team begins fragrance development about 2 years in advance of a fragrance launch. Working with world-renowned fragrance houses, they complete extensive market research and trend studies.
After they've made those key decisions of what they'd like to see in the catalog, they give the fragrances to us here in Batavia, and we develop those fragrances into all of our different candle forms.
The candle making process begins with determining the wax blend first. This is an extensive process as the blend is different for each form and fragrance.
A lot of people when they get candles think it's simple, right? It's candle wax, a wick, you burn it. But there is so much that goes into candles and candle development.
Party Light fragrances contain up to 100 ingredients per scent.
Party Light uses only the finest ingredients in all of their candles. Our waxes are all fully refined food-grade waxes.
And once you have the fragrance down, what about color?
When we get new fragrances, we develop a color that matches the chip, and we record that dye package that's used so that each and every time we make that candle, it's the same color.
The wax is prepared by folks that are trained in having the correct fragrance and dye composition. That is all precisely used on analytical balances.
We have a lot of standards that we do a lot of testing for to make sure that they meet our quality standards. We're making sure that our candles fade properly, and we actually use chemistry to be able to determine what needs to go into a candle so that it won't change colors over time.
We take a sample from every single batch where we check for color, and that color is matched against a precise Pantone chip. Those same chips that designers use to decorate your home. They don't just limit themselves to those colors that you see at the paint store. These are every color you could possibly imagine.
And now that the ingredients and color blends are determined, the next step is to select the proper wick for the specific candle formulation. Again, it's another comprehensive process to determine the type of wick for each candle form. There are actually over 100 different wicks to select from, with 25 of them being in-house at all times.
We have a range of wicks we can use, and by optimizing the wicks of our candles, it optimizes the burn to reduce the soot, to reduce tunneling, to perform to nearly 100% consumption so that all that wax is being consumed, you're getting a great fragrance throw, and we hold those standards very high, and nothing's allowed to get past this lab until we meet those standards.
At Party Light, we want to ensure that every candle that leaves our factory is of platinum quality and meets the satisfaction of our customer.
We do a lot of testing here at Party Light to verify that quality. That includes burn testing. During our burn testing, we want to make sure we're measuring the flame height. We want to make sure you get a decent wax pool. We want to make sure you're limiting any color differences or shifts that could happen. We want to make sure there's no defects in that candle. And within our burn testing, we want to make sure the candle doesn't soot.
So, the candle is made, it looks good and burns well, but is the fragrance pleasing to the customer? That's where sensory testing comes in. Using consumer panels, Party Light spends hours of testing and retesting the candle for customer satisfaction. How is this done? Party Light performs over 100 sensory panels per catalog. There are two types of testing, cold and hot. In cold testing, the goal is to test the initial reaction to the candle.
What we're looking at here is we want to make sure that the candle or the Smart Scent Stick is the highest sensory experience that you can achieve. So we perform testing on all those to make sure that the fragrance load is correct, to make sure that it meets the standards that you're used to getting. And we're rating it on strength and likability.
So, now that we know all the science that goes into developing the candles, what about how are they made?
At a photo table, the table is going to first heat up, and then we're going to pour a bath of wax across all of that table. You'll see that the pins have risen up through the molds, and as that wax floods into the bath, now we can start to cool it. So as the candles cool, you can see that the wax begins to contract, and eventually we will pull those pins down, cut the cap off the top. Then slowly, as the knife gets pulled back, you'll see the molds rise and the photos will come to the top of the table.
Now, let's check out how some of the other candles are made. And it doesn't end there. Party Light is all about innovation.
Anybody can make a candle, but what really separates us from a lot of different candle companies is innovation, because we're looking for the next best thing and we really want a candle that does more.
Glow Light is a candle that is unique to Party Light. It glows and transmits light top to bottom, and it really brightens up a room. It is a proprietary technology, but I can tell you that we do have a very custom formulation as well as custom designed equipment that is used to make that candle so that it glows from the bottom to the top. It is not able to be made on a normal pillar machine with our normal pillar formulation. Neither the equipment nor the formulation resembles what we do with our other pillars. I wish I could tell you more about it, but I can't tell you any more details.
And then it's on to distribution, where you'll find the state-of-the-art warehouse and equipment, automated processing, and a dedicated support team that ensures all orders receive timely shipment out to customers.
I am proud to be with Party Light because they are a great company. They are the leader in the candle industry.
I really feel proud telling people what I do.
We make the highest quality burning, performing candles in the industry, and I'm proud to be a part of that.